You're good.
Thank you. Hello, everybody. Looks like we're back again. We'll need one of you, Michelle, I need you to unmute so that Owl is up and running. If you, it'll pan to all of you for the meeting.
Okay, got it.
Perfect. All right, everyone, welcome back. We're back in regular session. We just left the exec session and we have no actions to vote on or take. Michelle has a 2-year contract and we are looking forward to next year. Brings us to item number 14, which is seating of board members. We had 3 board members up for election. They all won re-election. So Emily, Julia, and Evelia are all back in for 3 more years. Thank you. Brings us to item 15, which is our election of board officers. The 4 positions that we vote on as a board are board chair, vice chair, secretary, and treasurer. I texted Evelia. She's already on board for being the treasurer next year. Marie, are you interested in being the secretary?
He's very excited.
I will, I will, I would.
You'd love to?
No pressure, no pressure. I will continue. One thing, however, I would love at some point, well, we're gonna have to figure out our dates.
Yeah.
Yes.
Meetings, and also it would be wonderful if we could at some point discuss just for this position, moving forward, to either have access to the MCS board page or utilize board book or some program so that all the minutes can be archived, making it easier for future board members, staff, and also for the board chair, setting agendas, sending them out.
I think having board book or something similar to that would be kind of a game changer, because we wouldn't be hunting for like, where's the link or anything like that. It's all in one spot. So maybe in August, July, August, maybe I'll look into that a little bit more and then include you in on that. We can
That a service we pay for or something.
Yeah, it's about 3,000 a year. So
it's definitely an investment, and
Okay.
been thinking a lot about how, in order to offset the cost of the OSBA trainings, if we only do one board training meeting, and then make a commitment with board members to do some of the webinars, we might, I don't know, be able to find some way to offset the cost that the board already represents for the school.
it also would make it like, if you want to know, hey, did we vote on something like that? It would make stuff searchable. It's not currently not searchable.
Yeah.
And that's a pain.
Yeah.
Speaking from a new person perspective, like this was just my first year completed. That would be great, because like there's so many things like I don't even know where to look, and I wasn't given direction necessarily, you know what I mean, as to where to find. And the
I think it's-
website's okay, but yeah.
It's probably a blind spot on me too, because I have all of the past agendas saved on my computer. So it's like, oh, let me look back and see what I did last year, the year before, or whenever. So yeah, I think it's one of those things where I didn't truly have a good perspective on, how hard it is to see that information. So, so with some caveats, so basically, I will nominate Marie as secretary.
I accept.
All right. And then as far as the chair and vice chair positions, I think it's not a secret, but I've spoken to Emily about being chair. I've spoken to Julia about being vice chair. It is a lot of responsibility. It adds more to it. I will say that, I don't want to put myself into it, but I'm in the busiest part of my job that I think I will be in for a long time, and I'm extremely taxed at work. And so I don't feel like I can give what needs to be given to do this job next year. I manage 50 people at work. I'm taxed out. And so, and not to mention all the other things going on. So I don't need to get into that, but I would appreciate if unless someone else really wants to do it. If Emily, if you step up to that, and Marie and Julia, if you would maintain it vice chair and keep that continuity.
Hey, you're not doing the secretary. So.
So I'd make a nomination that Julia is the vice chair again and Emily is the chair.
Does anybody else want to be chair?
Tiffany, now's your time to speak up.
I'm still like learning that I don't feel qualified enough yet. Like I don't know. Yes, no,
Well, same with me.
definitely. Oh, but you've got another year.
Same with me.
You're good.
So my caveats would be that, well, I get to do with Julia, so that's really helpful. And then also, I mean, I feel like, Dan, there's so much you have in your head that we're
There's
gonna
not much in there.
yeah. A lot in there. That would be
Maybe
really
it's in your
helpful.
computer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So just to like, I mean, I know that you've said in the past that you're
Yeah,
not going.
I'm not going anywhere. Yeah, I will help you when I get back, mainland. I will sit down and go over how I've organized it. You will probably choose to do it differently because my way is probably not the best way, but kind of how I set up to prep for each month and the format for everything. So and then having a yearly calendar helps you prep for the next month. So you can look at that yearly calendar and say, oh, we need to have this ready for this date. And it's been tumultuous over the last few years. And so kind of getting back on a regular schedule has been really good. I think we have a good idea of where we need to be going forward. Some things I would say that I would try to do better is the ED eval earlier. That's one of those things we've tried to do earlier the last few times, and it's always been pushed back. That's on me. But I'd like to try and for next year assist you in getting that done earlier.
Okay.
And so I will be available to do work on projects if I don't have to run the whole, and it's not that much work, but it's just the mental space of mentally managing all the things that, I mean, you all do so much work already for the board that, so I don't feel like I'm doing that much work, but at the same time, this just running the meetings in itself is just enough work for me. I just don't feel like I can do it, but I'm available to do other things where I have a specific task that I'm given and say, I need you to go do this, help me with this. And I'm happy to do that. Whether it's negotiation stuff or budget stuff or facilities things, whatever it happens to be, I'm happy to step in. And then I do plan to run again next time. So.
And I will say, Emily, that just my observation, we've had in the past, we had co-chairs.
Huh.
And I think that was very difficult for the ED, that there is a great benefit to there being a point person. And so often I will call Dan, and in this instance, I would call you and say, hey, this is troubling me at the school, or I'm hearing rumors about this, or this seems like he's already spoken with Michelle about it almost always, and is like had a meeting about it already. And there's a tremendous amount of communication that needs to happen between the chair and the ED on a really regular basis. And when you have two people who are like the two heads, you don't know if that communication's happened, who's had it. Michelle doesn't know who to call in a pinch. And so it's really important, from what I've observed, to have somebody that's designated. I've talked to the board because you can't call 7 people. And so, but it doesn't mean I'm not paying attention and sort of scanning the room on a regular basis.
And like somebody for me to talk to.
Yes.
Yes.
And then absolutely, Dan calls me to bounce. He says, this thing, we've got this ethical concern. Like, what are your thoughts about it? And like, I certainly bring, a certain number of skills and a little bit of overlap with, a prior chair with that. So like some just like, maybe past year's experience that you may not have, or just another set of ears and eyes on a problem. And I'm happy to troubleshoot with you and be like, oh, you know what? I think we need a special meeting of the board because this seems to rise to the level of that or whatever.
Yeah.
But I do think it's, having given it some thought, that it's much easier to have one chair. And that a big part of, from what I observe, and Dan will be able to communicate with you more, and so will Michelle, the big part of the job is like figuring out your relationship with Michelle and how often you talk and about what, because like, to me, what I've observed is that there's actually quite a bit of communication that happens. And one of the things that gives me comfort about you being chair is just like, you have really great communication skills. It's like part of your job. And I think that that's a huge part of the chair job. Like you are both relaying information to all of us when we are not in a meeting, and you are constantly sort of talking to Michelle about like, do you need board involvement here? Do you not? And I think, the last thing I'll say is, is that just like one of the trickiest things for me to figure out on the board, and I'm still always learning, is this an area that is like the board should be involved in, or is this totally ED? And and I think we're constantly wanting to support our ED, who is our employee, and at the same time, need to also really respect her space to run daily operations. And that's such there's some gray area there. And I think those sorts of conversations I'm happy to have with you, and like, we can have with Michelle, and just to know that, you're always welcome. And if you need help, like it's a huge job, from what I've heard. And if you want, if you want help and support, I do think that like,
Secretary sounds pretty good.
that's something that maybe Dan didn't do a ton of, but that could be done is just being really specific about what you're delegating out. And there has been more of that. It's like, you're doing policy and, you're doing the contract negotiation, but I just think, that sometimes when you're just putting out fires and you're moving fast, there isn't the time to be like, oh, let's give this project. Would you be willing to take this on? And you find yourself kind of just like rowing over every rapid. And you definitely should think of it as a team. Like,
Oh, it has to be a team. Yeah. I mean, I'm not exactly sure all of the ins and outs of being a chair. I'll be great at getting y'all agendas on time. For sure. Things like that I do every day of my life will not be difficult for me to step into. But a lot of this stuff is really new to me, and I don't understand, the budget process or all of it. So I'm happy to serve in this role, recognizing that there is a team around me that answers and input.
Yeah.
Because
I think the most important part that I will miss is those early morning conversations with Michelle, or just whenever, just checking in and being, the most important part of this position. Yeah. And it's Michelle, the morning person. So it's like, but the most important part of this job is your relationship with Michelle, and making sure there's an open relationship, where there's an open, and the lines of communication stay open, and there's no agenda on either side. There's just support. And that's the most important part, because then you can call and say, hey, how you doing? What do you need? What do you think about this? It's like that, just that open communication where there's, where she feels comfortable and she can talk to you and get support from you, and that you can always call her, and it's not going to be seen as any kind of adversarial relationship. And so that's what I've really enjoyed over the last year. I will really miss that, because it's been fun. It's been a great team effort, and I've loved doing that. So I am sad to leave that part of it.
Thanks, Jen, for all your work.
I just want you guys
Yeah,
to
it
know
is.
this. Did you vote on that MCS? I'm not actually sure that did you abstain?
I did not abstain, but it's okay if I don't, if I vote on that one, because it's
It
multiple
is?
people. that-
Okay, I just want to make sure.
Oh.
Yeah. Just
Uh,
having
because of the
a contract, yeah.
I voted.
Okay.
Okay. And when my understanding of what we heard, but that's okay, because it is have to. hold
Everybody,
down.
okay, perfect. I was just a little.
Yeah, thank you.
yeah, when we start.
Okay, sir.
The campus for music, we will keep you out of that. I'm getting loopy because it's 8:00.
Yeah.
Yes. So I think we just need to make a formal vote that these are our positions. I'm pretty sure we need to do that. So I'll make a motion. Any more discussion before I make a motion? Okay. Make a motion that we elect Emily as our board chair, Julia as our vice chair, Marie as our secretary, and Amelia as our treasurer. Can I get a second?
I'll second it. Since I'm the only one.
Thank you, Tiffany. All those in favor? Any opposed, voice your opposition? Motion passes. Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
We need to set a date.
Oh,
Is that
I
what
did
we-
look at the Tuesdays.
Yeah, they all work for me.
Oh, really?
The
Other
15th,
Tuesdays?
19th, 16th, 21st, out to October.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Working
can-
on all of those.
Huh? You're working
No,
on
no,
all
they,
of
they,
it?
no, they all work for me.
Oh, they all work.
Oh, I thought.
Yeah.
And it
I'm
could
out.
you
I'm
just
out.
keep it
No.
for Tuesday. The only one that can't be kept
Okay.
is the March one, because we have to meet prior to the 15th, so it would have to be,
Okay.
which is a weird one. It would either have to be on the 10th or the 12th. It doesn't matter. It just has to be before the 15th, because that's where I have to have contract recommendations.
What's the
And
Tuesday?
the Tuesday is the 10th.
Let's stick with that. then.
Okay. That would be the
So-
only one that's,
I only checked until October so
Okay.
far. I didn't look out any further than that, but it's up to y'all how far out you want to go. But I know that I'm good for my schedule out through October. And it's a lot easier if I don't have to run the meeting also. Like if I'm at work a day, I can always just
Yeah.
leave for a
third
call and come back.
Tuesday seems to work. Yeah, just keep that third
Except
Tuesday.
in March.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think first meeting.
Third Tuesdays except
Although
March.
January, oh no, Monday is not.
Yeah, it could
Okay.
go on the, I think it works on, and it doesn't impact spring break.
Or
That,
holidays,
1, 2,
December.
3. Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, and it's on the 16th with that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so
Good for the
road.
July 16th,
So it's July 15th,
We can include-
August 19th. 16th of September.
Yep. October
20.
21st.
September.
18th of October
Next
Is it the
month.
18th or the 21st? Which one is it?
First.
of November, sorry.
Yeah.
It is the 21st of October and the 18th
Okay.
of November.
12, 16.
Yep,
December
12, 16, 20,
January 20,
17,
February 17,
17 again.
No, 10.
March 10th.
Oh, March 10th, yep, oops.
March.
That's
10.
the one.
Yeah, that's the one I actually, yeah. 21st,
Mm. Okay, 21st.
19, and 16. Perfect. It's really helpful to have like that whole
Yes,
list
that
on
is
the,
nice.
I
on
like
there.
that.
And I think sticking with.
I'll just, you want me to just state them really quick and then we can be done? Okay.
Yes, please.
So I'll make a motion that our, we'll set our next board meetings for
I've had so much
Uh,
chocolate in these 5 minutes.
July 15th, August 19th, September 16th, October 21st, November 18th, December 16th, January 20th, February 17th, March 10th, April 21st, May 19th, and June 16th. And we'll get those out in the minutes, but also to Daphne. And it looks like the owl is down again. So Michelle, your computer is the only one we have.
Okay.
That's fine.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I'm tired, so I'm not thinking of everything, but I just want to say, Dan, thank you for your service. It's
Yeah,
been
thank
really
you, Dan.
remarkable and you've done a fabulous job. And I think you have set a tone that makes the board members want to stay on the board, that and you've navigated us through some really tricky times. And I just I think your leadership is quite remarkable. And I'm really grateful the owl agrees.
The owl
Uh,
agreed.
And if I was not
All
as
right.
tired, I would be more eloquent, but I appreciate you a lot. Thank you for all you've
Thank you.
given the school and the board.
Thank you for all your support. I've really enjoyed working with you all. So thank you.
Thanks,
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks,
Go enjoy
Dan.
that beach.
Yeah. Let's see, are you gonna show us the beach one more time?
No, it's all right. I don't want to tease you. I'll see you soon.
Bye, good night.
Right.
We have to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, oops. Okay.
So I'll make a motion that we adjourn. Can I get a second?
I'll second.
Thank you.
Okay.
All those in favor?
I.
Any opposed? Voice your opposition? All right. Have a good evening.